Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make a lazy daisy. Lazy daisies are a nice stitch to use when you're doing flowers. It gives it a nice little petal look. So I'm going to come up at my center point, and again I'm using 2 strands of DMC floss. I'm going to go back down in the same exact point that I just came up, so it's kind of tricky to miss that knot that's on the back. So I'm going to go down, and I'm not going to pull my thread all the way through, and I'm going to come up on one of my registration points, and I want to make sure that my needle comes up in the loop that my thread just made. I'm going to pull it all the way through, and then I'm going to go over that thread to tack it in place, trying not to pull too hard so I keep that shape of my lazy daisy. There's one petal. So now I'm going to come back up in the center again. I'm just going to go to my next, so I'm going to go back down in the same hole that I just came up in. I'm going to pull through, but not all the way to the back. I'm going to go to my next point and make sure my thread is in the center. Pull it all the way up, and then tack my stitch. So I go over the thread, tack it in place, and my second petal. So I'm going to work my way all the way around the flower. Now some people have a different method, so I'll show you the second method for doing this. So you come up the same, you're going to go down in the same hole, but instead of pulling your needle through to the bottom, you're going to bring it back up on that next point, and then take your thread and wrap it around the needle, and then pull your needle through. Same method, and then you're still going to tack it down over the thread. So there's 2 ways to do your lazy daisy. Find the method that you prefer. I was taught to pull through onto the back, so this keeping my needle on the top of my fabric is a new method for my lazy daisies, but they come out with the same result. So you just have to find which method that you like the best. Again, I'm going around my needle. I'm just, holding my thread and gently pulling through, trying not to tangle my thread, and then tack it down. If you pull your thread too tight, if you make it too taut, once you make your lazy daisy petals, they're going to be very thin. So you want to kind of have them a little bit loose. You can see that mine are a little bit loose on top. That keeps their big shape. So I'm going to finish up my last 2. Again, coming up and down in the same center hole. I'm going to wrap my thread around my needle, pull it through, and then tack it. And my last one. Now usually when I'm stitching, I will turn my piece that I'm working on, because I like to do lazy daisies all from the top position, so I'll just rotate my fabric around, but I didn't want to do that while I was teaching. So you just have to find which way is most comfortable for you. And tack it down. See how I pulled my knot out, and I kind of made my petal a little bit thin, so you can just kind of play with it a little bit and loosen it up. And there you go, that's a lazy daisy.